That's good to hear. Good to hear. Is it me or is the weather changing? Anybody else looking forward to the cold weather? Where my northerners at? Where my northerners at? Cold weather, cold weather for 100, please. I was so excited to see this 70 number. I think it was 77. My kid was mad. I'm like, yeah, I can't take the heat. Ugh. So, are we still supposed to get a storm or something? Are we still in the eye of the storm, guys? I need to check it. I thought I
I
heard
don't.
something about a storm. All right, go ahead. Is that you, Kev? Mm, mm, mm. All right, if you're going to say something, go ahead. All right, guys. I know I always say this, but we're not going to be on here long today because this week is your interview week. So we really want you guys focused on that. I've already gotten, texts from people saying, "Oh, I'm going to be out here and there." I know, I get it. This week is when you're going to be doing your interviewing, so some of you may not be able to pop in. Totally fine. To that point, I try to be respectful of your time. Some people try to come and try to, then go squeeze it in. So this week, the sessions will be, a bit light. We'll definitely be out of here by 10:30 or not before. But I did want to talk about a couple of things we need to do for the past 2 weeks. So I do want to just give a quick little recap. Number one, this technically is considered your midpoint review. So some of your campuses may be checking your grades. I should have all the grades done probably by today or tomorrow. So just be a little patient with that. I have returned once again. Wanted a few of you guys is probably not anybody here, but um, mid career plans. Once again, those career plans are career plans, not personal plans. For those of you that did change that, thank you for that, and you got your full points. Others, if I don't get a response and you don't change it, then you're going to have to get, the grade that you get. Um, but I just really wanted everybody to do that properly because today you will be doing step two of that career plan, and we'll talk a little bit about that towards the end of class. But if you don't do the first part right, then the second part is not going to make sense because you are going to be creating steps for the step, and you can't create steps for something that is not defined, right? So that's why I really wanted you guys to get that done. Also, I did receive a few resumes that were not signed. I'm sure it's not anybody here, but just as a reminder, your resumes need to be signed. I'm really saying that for people that watch the video. So if your resume was not signed and you turned it in, I send it back to you and I reopened the assignment to tell you please to get that signed. I want to give you an opportunity to get your full points. If you don't do it, then you have to get the grades you get. All right. I did also want to talk a little bit about the director's informational interview that I think it was Wednesday, and you may or may not have had any questions with that. Did anybody have any questions with that? This was what we call an informational interview. It's just picking someone's brain. We're asking you to go talk to someone. That was last Wednesday, right? Am I looking at that correctly? Let me just double check.
Yeah,
Um,
it was last Wednesday. I
yes.
didn't do it, cause I ain't gonna lie. Who I'm gonna talk to?
But
That's how
You
I
don't know
felt.
anybody either?
okay, okay. You know what? And I thought about that. Normally, I used to spend a lot of time on that, and I think I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna circle back and start talking about that assignment a little bit more. So here's all you have to do, guys. We used to have two of them because networking, as we said, is really, really big. Um, if you don't talk to somebody, you have to get used to that in your career. You guys know that, right? You got to get used to just networking and branding yourself and all of that. So we used to have two of them, but this one technically is the easier one because all we want you to do, it could be anybody that's in leadership. It does not have to be somebody in your career. It could be your boyfriend. It could be your child. Anybody that has a management role, that has a supervisor role. Even if one of you guys have it and you want to interview each other, like, listen, I don't care. If anybody has had it, it can be one of your teachers. Anybody that has a position of leadership, your next door neighbor, and all you were supposed to do last week was just give me a name of someone. Sam Joe, my next door neighbor. I'm going to talk to him because he runs his own landscaping company, right? Or Sarah, she's over the Teachers Association. I'm going to talk to her. I don't care who it is. And all I want you to do is just pick their brain. All you're going to do is you're going to tell them your long term goal. Hey, Sam, I want to pick your brain. I know you're not in VA program. I know you're not an electrician, but my long-term goal is to own my own business one day. And I know you manage people. I just want to know, since I'm going to be running my own business, whatever you want to ask him. I gave you some questions to ask, but what I really want you to ask is something that you're curious about that's going to help you with your career. That's the whole point. Number one, you're putting it out there what you're trying to do with your career because it's almost like an affirmation. When you put something out there when you verbally say something, it makes it more real. So by you going about out and telling people, I want to become a master electrician and own my own business one day, and you're getting their feedback, whatever feedback you feel that that person can give you is what you're going to ask. That's all it is. It can be over the phone. It doesn't have to be in person. Does that help? So
It does. Yes. But so can I still turn the assignment in?
yes, yes, yes. I'm going to open that assignment back up. Listen, guys, this class is not a punitive class. I want you to be successful. If you're willing to do the work, I'm willing to help you do the work. Okay? So I'll
Okay.
open that assignment back up. All you have to do is give me a name and then try by this Wednesday or at least by this Sunday to have spoken to them. So, well, actually, you have until Sunday to speak to them and then just go in the assignment, which I think is this Wednesday, and just say what happened. That's all you have to do. What did they tell you? What was the feedback they gave you?
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Also, can I ask one more question?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead.
Thursday, the class question or the participation question.
Mhm.
I I didn't get it. I didn't get credit for being in class. I actually did my interview, but um,
Huh? Did you turn the question in?
I didn't get the question. Is my point. I missed it somehow.
Oh, so I can't go back and do attendance unless there was an
That's fine.
error. Oh, it's only trust me. It's not. Don't. I mean, in the larger scheme of thing, one missed attendance is nothing. It's like 0.00001. Is you won't even see it. Like don't. It's okay. I promise you. It's not going to affect your grade. If so, don't. It's not a big deal. Um, is that okay? I want you to be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's
Well, my
trust me.
attendance count for me, but
Huh?
um, cause I
Yeah, your attendance doesn't count towards your grade. So the assignment does, but not like if you miss. But it's okay, because it's such a small percentage. You won't really. It won't really. One missed class is not gonna do much. And I know. I mean, you know what your attendance is. I can't talk about your grade, but you know.
yeah, my attendance is pretty good for the most part, but I get paid for that being there. That's why it's important to me.
Like if you miss
But
a
it's
class,
okay. It's okay.
we could talk about it afterwards if you want to. But yeah, so if you miss a class, there's nothing I can't change the attendance, but like if you're like, "Oh, I really need those points because of whatever," sometimes I open it up for people to get points, but I can't change the attendance. Cause I mean, y'all
So
know how
how did I
school
miss
goes,
it on Thursday?
huh?
But you don't log in to the session, but I was supposed to log into the question.
So
Never mind. We'll discuss it later.
no,
We'll
I want to
discuss it
make sure
later. Go
everybody
ahead.
understands attendance. That's important. Listen,
I know
uh,
what it.
I'm confused. I just want to make sure I understand the question. So attendance is, once I give that question, you have to do it by 12:30 in order to get attendance. And I know sometimes people come to the live session and they'll say, "Oh, but Miss Taylor, I was here." And I'm like, "I know, but if you don't do the question, then your attendance is not recorded." And that's the way that Southern Tech counts attendance online. Like, there's nothing
I
like it.
understand that, Miss Taylor.
Well, maybe I
I,
misunderstand your question there.
no, no.
Help me understand.
My question is Thursday we weren't on live, correct?
We were for like 5-10 minutes. We were. Hmm.
Okay, so that's where I fucked up at. It was my
Oh,
mistake. I didn't.
oh yeah. Because remember, I had told everybody that we were only good because Thursday was your midterm, right? So I told everybody, hey, we're only gonna be on here a few minutes, and if you don't make it, just go get the video. The video was posted.
Okay, so I missed the information. All right, thank you, Miss Taylor.
Oh, I got it, got it. Yeah, sorry. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. You're okay. No, I mean, we was, we were in and out, but I gave that warning, right? We were gonna be in and out. All right, so I got it. Um, what's next? So resumes, informational interview, and then like I said, I'm working on the grade, so I know a lot of people turned in some stuff last night. Give me just a day or two to get that done, and so you can see where you guys are. All right. Anything else? All right, guys. So we know that we are in the throes of interviewing. Chapter 11 is continuing the conversation on interviewing. It's a little light that chapter. Where is my cursor? Okay. It's a little light. It's just going to talk a little bit about first impressions, and I'll spend a little bit of time talking about that. And then, really, this idea that you may have a second or third interview. Did I just lose my? Sorry about that. My computer's doing something weird. I just lost my. Hold on. Let me get it back again, guys. I think I deleted it by mistake. But that second interview, if you have one, like I said, sometimes they do panel interviews and sometimes they do second and third interviews, which are not fun. But if you have one, we're just going to talk about treating that second interview just like it's your first interview, right? You don't ever want to get comfortable. um, I had a coworker, God bless him, in higher education too, and he had worked for the company for a few years, right? Knew everybody, everybody loved him, and he wanted to go for a director's role. Can you guys guess how many interviews he had to do? Who says more than five? Give me a thumbs up if you say more than five interviews for a director's role, almost like a campus director. What about more than eight? He had to do 11 interviews. 11. Go ahead, Bo. You have a question? 11. And asked me if he got the job. He did not get the. I'm not laughing at him. He's a dear friend of mine. And I'm not laughing at him, but I'm laughing at the words he used when he called me and told me. Brother was not happy. I'll tell you that. He was not happy. He could not believe it. He was dumbfounded. And it hurt at the same time, which is really what, sometimes laughter and pain is masked, by, laughter masked pain because he was really hurt. I mean, as he should be, right? Because he thought for sure he was going to get the job. But so we'll talk a little bit about these second and third interviews. All right. So let's get into it. This is a big one, guys. This is a big one. Let's talk a little bit about first impression. And it's so funny because I thought about this the other night. But this one is a little bit touchy because, everybody and their idea about what is a first impression and things of that nature and how they view that, thinks differently. But I think we all know that when you go to an interview, your first impression is important. Give me a thumbs up if you believe that. You're meeting someone for the first time. I mean, your first impression of them is important too, right? It's going to stick out in your mind. We don't remember a lot of things in life, but for whatever reason, we remember the first time, and maybe we remember the last time, and maybe one or two things in between. But that first time is a big deal, right? So first impression is a lasting impression. It's where all your senses are heightened. Your smell, your touch, your ears, your eyes, everything is heightened when you're doing something for the first time. So understand this. In interviewing, we talk about this thing called subjective elements. And it is a bias that could happen that through no fault of nobody, of anyone, not of yourself, not of the interviewer. It's just what we psychologically do that sometimes we don't think about. Okay, if you're guilty of giving someone the once over with your eyes when you first meet them, go ahead and tell the truth. Tell the truth. Give me a thumbs up. Tell the truth. If you just have that quick little glance over when you meet someone for the first time, we don't know why we do it. We're just taking it all in. We're not judging. We're just taking it in, right? Especially if you're a visual person. I don't know why we do it, but we do, right? And whether it's subtle or not, it's something that we do. Sometimes we get caught doing it, right? And then the other person is thinking, what they looking at me like that for? And it's like, ma'am, sir, I don't know why I do it. It's just something I take in. So it's a psychological thing, especially for those of us that are very visual. I'm a very visual person. I pay attention to everything, unfortunately. Um, and you may have an interviewer that is the same way. Who has a sensitivity to smell? Give me a thumbs up if you have a sensitivity to smell. Like if someone is wearing like a really strong perfume or a cologne, maybe you have allergies. Give me a thumbs up if you have allergies. Can you imagine? So, can you imagine being the interviewer and somebody walked in there and whatever they're wearing is affecting your allergies? That would not go over well. Would you not agree? Or what about you ever see someone that talks with their hands? Anybody talks with their hands? I used to work on Staten Island and I worked with a lot of my Italian brothers and sisters. They loved me to death, y'all. They treated me like they used to tell me I was Sicilian. I was pregnant up in on Staten Island, and so they knew I was from the South, and so I would go to the bodegas. Anybody know what a bodega is? And they would literally make me grits and eggs. Oh, they feel so sorry for me. And they don't really make grits and eggs at bodegas, just so you know. But when I was up there, true story, I'm not even laughing. I worked at a nonprofit, and it was about 60% of the people that worked there were Italian. And when I tell you, I used to run out of my office sometimes because they were speaking really loudly and their hands were flaring. And I thought they were fighting. I thought they were arguing, and they were just talking. I laughed so hard when I realized that because I just didn't know. Some people are very animated. Some cultures are very animated with their hands, right? And it was like, no, that's how we talk. Now, of course, we laugh about it now, but I didn't know that, that was, anybody have any Italian heritage? Or anybody from New York or Jersey, y'all know what I'm talking about? If you ever seen it before, you're like, oh my God, what's happening?
My whole family is from New York, and I'm half Italian, so
Am I lying, Angela? I don't want to. Is that a correct reflection, or was it just me?
no, you pretty much got it.
Angelina, it was so funny. But let me tell you something. It was the best years of my life. They adopted me. They taught me. We had a farm on Staten Island at the company I worked at, and we, of course, we did everything. We made. We had mozzarella, and we had fresh tomatoes that we picked from the farm. They taught me all the dishes. Antipasta, girl. I ate so good. They treated me like a queen, honey. But I had to get used to the hand movements, right? And so sometimes when people are very animated in their speech and they talk that way, imagine if the person was wearing jewelry on their arms and they're at the interview. Anybody ever been around someone with a lot of bangles on their arms, or a lot of things on their arms, and they're using their arms, or they're hitting the table, or they have rings on, and they're not realizing they're making noise? Do you know how distracting that can be? These are little nuances that we just don't think about. We don't think about those things. And so these are all things that could create a bias. Sometimes even the color that you wear. In chapter 11, it talks about being mindful of even the clothes and the attire that you wear, because you don't want to give anyone the impression, or, about you. You don't want anyone thinking like, oh, this person loves to party, or, oh, look at that really, loud combination, or they're just staring at your clothes instead of paying attention to you. So for those of us that don't love, earth tone colors like me, I love browns and blues and grays. That's who I am. Others don't. That's why they say to wear those colors when you go to an interview, because you really want people looking at your face. You don't want people thinking, oh, where'd she get that shirt from? Or that's a really cool belt this guy has on. You don't want them doing that. I mean, thank you for the compliment, but I have 1 hour, ma'am or sir. I don't need you checking out my outfit. I need you paying attention to the words that are coming out of my mouth, because you are computer did that. You are going to judge me against someone else in the next hour, right? I don't need you remembering me, because first impression is a lasting impression. Are y'all getting my point? I don't want you to remember the person that smelled really good. I mean, obviously, I'm going to bathe and be fresh, or the person that had on the loud yellow shirt. Y'all know how we do. I want you to say, I can't remember exactly what she was wearing, but I remember what she said. Does that make sense? You don't want to be known as the person. You remember that guy with all the tattoos? So they even tell you, if you have a lot of tattoos, if you can, try to cover them up that day. Not because they're not cool, because you don't want to be them to be distracted. They are human. Hey, did you see that? Did you see that tattoo he had? Did what? I can't remember where he said he worked, or what he said he whether he did that project or not. But I remember that cool tattoo. No, you don't. I don't want you to remember my cool tattoo. I want you to remember the words coming out of my mouth. You have to help the interviewer help you. So in chapter 11, it talks about these subjective elements, and it just tells you just to be mindful of them. That is why they tell you to dress like a banker when you go to an interview. Does that make sense? I don't want you remembering anything else about me but what I said. All right, that's why. Okay, so we talked a little bit about in person interviews. We already know that we're going to arrive on time, but one thing I'm going to tell you guys, my friends, from the moment you drive onto the lot of that job, you're at the interview. Don't trust anyone. You don't know, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean it in a way that everybody is judging you. You don't know if this is the type of environment where everybody knows that that position is being filled. You don't know about the last person that left that job or what their circumstance was. You don't know if the person that's pulling up next to you is the person that is going to interview you. You don't know if the guy that's sitting in the car that's checking you out as you're putting on your lipstick before you go in. Like from the second you drive into that parking lot, you're on the interview. You don't know these people, right? And it's your job to make a good impression. You don't know if the person that's walking up to the building with you is your new boss, right? Unless you've done your research, like I told you, get their first and last name and try to Google them. Go ahead, Dominique.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct. I had went to
Mhm.
an interview at a company, and they do have people in the parking lot. One of the
Mhm.
guys, I was sitting outside smoking, and before my interview and getting all my stuff together. And one of the guys, I wasn't certain where to park at, and one of the guys came up to me and was like, hey, don't worry about it. You can park anywhere. They don't tow people's car and all that. I was like, well, this is, it was company parking lot. I said, I'm
Mm.
looking for guest parking. And he was like, it's not going to matter. You can park over there. I said, oh, okay, thank you. And I finished smoking, but I parked in guest parking lot. And when I went in my interview, one of the guys was in the interview. The guy that told me I could park
Oh my
anywhere wasn't there.
God.
But one of the guys asked me where I parked at. I say parked in the guest parking. He said, "Yeah, one of my guys told you you can park anywhere. Why you ain't parked there?" I said, "Cause I don't work here yet."
Exactly. You see, and that's very innocent, right? It was a very innocent interaction, but you don't know what that guy told him. Oh yeah, man, she looked like this and he did that. And you don't know, right? You just don't know. And this is why I say think of
It's
it
the
this
little
way.
thing. They
And
wanted to see if I follow the rules or if I do it when people ain't
you
watching.
never know. You see what I'm saying? And watch this. It to me, I say I liken it to you joining someone's family. Y'all know how it is when you have a significant other and you have to go meet the family and friends for the first time. Y'all know how they go, right? They're giving you that once over. These people are family for, all intensive purposes. They're not, but they know each other. They know each other's quirks. They know, the ins and outs. They've already built this team, right? So here you come and you want to be a part of that team. They are going to give you the once over. That's why I say don't trust anybody because you never know what they are looking for. You don't know if the person got fired was that person's best friend. You don't know, right? So when you walk in there from the time that you part, you are at the interview. You don't know if someone's looking out the window. I'm telling you everything that I have seen before. You don't know that receptionist. Be nice to everybody. Don't be mean mugging and have if you're normally, a very subdued person and you're not really being friendly with the receptionist could be the boss's daughter. Like you just never know. Be nice to everybody. You are on an interview with everybody, including the security guard until you drive off that parking lot. I'm telling you guys because people are human and people pass judgments and you just don't need that drama, right? I'm just hint to the wise. All right. Now, obviously, we talked about this. If it's a virtual interview, I pray you don't have to have one, but some people may like it. If it's a virtual interview, the only thing I'm going to say about that, like I said before, make sure your personality is a little bit extra during that interview. Make sure that you show your your eagerness, right? So imagine, we're in this online class early in the morning. It's 10 o'clock. Y'all heard me cry about my coffee. I had it this morning though. What if I got on here and I know we've all have had instructors like this, and this was me. All right, class. Did y'all read chapter 11? All right. So today we're just going to talk about virtual interviews. There's a lot of different techniques to virtual interviews. You guys would be like, I'll be so glad when we get out of this class. You may already be that way, but imagine, right? And I know teachers I'm talking about my people. I know teachers that are like that. Y'all know there are some that are like that. Now, thank goodness I have a natural high, but it will kill you. I already know it'd be like listening to nails on the chalkboard. So you don't want to be that person. So just hopefully, like I said, you don't have to deal with that. But if you do, just be mindful of that. Like I said, if you have a second interview, if it was not a panel interview and you got to come back and meet the boss, and most times that second interview is for you to meet the top boss. You treat that interview just like it's the real thing. I don't care. I mean, just like it's the first. I don't care if it is your assumption that that person said you were great. Clearly, they passed you on with positive reviews. That's why you're meeting the second person, whoever that person may be. But you treat that interview as if you don't have the job because you don't. Remember my story about my friend with the 11 interviews? He for sure thought he had the job. And you are going to give 100% just like you did at that first interview because this person could be looking for something different from the other person. Anybody ever had two interviews and didn't get the job? Anybody ever had a really great interview? See, Dominic, you did. Go ahead. It's not cool.
Yeah, I had 3 interviews and didn't get the damn job. I was mad as hell.
You
Man, they
listen,
just listen.
listen.
I had the first one, the one where they scan in to see who they want to really interview.
Mhm.
And then I did the individual interview with the hiring manager,
Mhm.
the manager, and then I did the panel interview.
Oh
And
my
the
goodness.
panel, I thought I was shit hot on. I thought I did really well. I mean, they were laughing. We talked.
Exactly.
Yeah, and at this time, I got that letter. They didn't even call me. They sent me a letter or
Mm-mm-mm.
email talking about not. Went with somebody else. Boy, I had a few choice words nonetheless.
Let me tell you, I had one that had me on the phone. It was a virtual interview for 2 hours. 2 hours, guys. You couldn't have told me I, I didn't have that interview. I didn't have that job. You couldn't have told me any different. And when I got
Yeah, I
that,
felt like that a couple times.
listen, I got that thing in the mail talking about they went with somebody else. I wanted to drive up there. And it was virtual and it was a remote job and I wanted to drive up there. I'm like, I cannot believe you wasted my time. And especially when they're all friendly with you and you just know you got the job. Recruiters are horrible at that. I can't stand recruiters either. I'm just gonna put it out there. Especially in my profession, oh, they get on my nerves. They call me all the time and oh, Miss Taylor, you have all this wonderful, experience doing this consulting work. Can we meet? Let's interview for this and give me your resume. Oh, yeah, you'd be perfect for the job. And then I never hear from them. Drive me nuts.
I
But
I found out something about why me and you get picked all the time for interviews because I get calls. I still get calls. I ain't working.
what?
Cause they have a quota that they have to interview.
Ah,
That's the truth. Trust
yeah,
me.
I know, I know, I know, I know.
Okay, so that's why we get picked on.
But I will tell you this
As a
one.
woman, as a black woman, Hispanic woman, Chinese woman, if they got, especially in the industry, some of the like HVAC and electronics and all that stuff like that, where there's not a lot of women. Oh yeah, they'll put you on every damn interview and chit chat with you, kiki with you, and everything,
Is
and
that's
go with
something
your
to
buddy.
consider. But now I'm gonna tell you what I have had happen to me. Now most of you guys won't have this unless you do any type of consulting work in the future. These companies are notorious for asking me to use my likeness and put it on their websites. So they can say, "Oh, look, maybe it's for the reason Dominique said, but they'll say, "Oh, look, let us use, say you're a consultant of ours." And then I'll never hear from them just because they want to show diversity on their website. Can you guys believe people do that? I didn't catch on to it, earlier in my career, but then I started catching on to it because I'm like, this person wants me to be their consultant. They want to be that consultant, that person, and then I never hear from them. And then I had one guy, he's an ex-military guy. He was actually bold enough to tell me. I promise you, he was like, "Hey, yeah, I want to use you to see if we can get this contract." His words, not mine. "I want to use you to see if we can get this contract." Now, this wasn't, because of my demographic. It was because, he wanted to use my credentials to see if they can get the contract. And they do that. They'll actually use your credentials to get a contract, and then they'll go with somebody that they know once they get the contract. People are ruthless, honey. People are ruthless, but that's life. All right. So, anyway, after you interview, right? God willing, you interview. What happens in the post interview? Well, we've talked about this, right? We already know what's going to happen. We're going to go back and we're going to decide, okay, is this the job for me? Do I like it? I'm going to send my thank you letter. So, you guys will be doing a follow up thank you letter with Career Services, FYI, next week. After you interview with them, you're going to be doing a little thank you letter, thanking them for their time. And then you're going to manage your emotions because, like I said before, you could be the first person that they've interviewed or you can be the last. You don't know. So you are going to continue to put out your resumes and you're going to continue to interview because it's not, unless there's a ring on your finger, you don't have the job, right? And so you're going to continue to do your job search, right? We know that, but we also need, reminding, right? Because what is, what is it really? It is a process, and it's an unfortunate process, rinse and repeat, that we have to go through time and time again, and you'll be doing it throughout your career. So, evaluating the job offer, negotiating if necessary, responding, and then there you go, you are employed. We know that, right? All right. So, here is your participation for today. In line with what we talked about in terms of how you present yourself, here's what I want you to do. Now, again, you don't have to do this visually if you don't want. What I want you to do is to show me or describe what you would personally wear to an interview. So how do you show me? The same way you did with your elevator pitches. You can click on video, have the outfit on, turn around 2 seconds, turn it off. I mean, it's really that simple. Some people like not talking. Or you could write it out what you would wear. Please do not write out shirt and pants. That's not going to get you points. Each one of you are in a specific industry, so you should know what you should be wearing to your interview, right? Some of y'all probably going to say scrubs. Some people may say steel-toed shoes and pants. I don't mind getting dirty because I'm going to have a working interview. Do you even know what you're supposed to wear to your interview, which is why we're really asking this question? So if you know what you're supposed to wear to an interview for your industry, you're going to show me or you're going to write it out. All right? That's your participation question for today. Like I said, now what we're going to do today, guys, is part 2 of your career plan. Let's talk about that for a minute. Part 2 of your career plan, and there is a little worksheet that I have for you in that assignment. Now, what you're going to do, which is why we wanted you to have these conversations with someone to help you really think through. My long term goal is to become a master electrician, and my other long term goal is to own my own business. What are the steps I'm going to take to become a master electrician? And so the worksheet helps you think about the steps that you're going to take. Now, some of you turned that in your when you did your long-term goal. So if you actually turned in some steps to get to your long-term goal, you can actually turn those steps in again if you want, because I didn't need them yet. But if it's to become a master electrician, you may say, well, I got to get my first job, as a electrician, and I know I have to work for at least 3 to 5 years. You should know somebody could tell me really quickly. I can't remember how many years you're supposed to work before you can even sit for the license, right? You can't just go sit for a license to become a master electrician. How many years does it take? Does anybody know? I actually dated someone that did it before, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. Is it 5 years? 3 years? Well, see, if you don't know if that's your goal, that's something you need to figure out, because you can't just say, I'm going to go sit for the master electrician license in year 2, because there is a certain amount of years you have to wait. So maybe it's I'm going to work as an electrician for 3 years. And that third year, I'm going to start studying for my master electrician's license. And that fourth year, I'm going to go take it to become a master electrician, whatever your steps are. Maybe your step is I'm going to start uh, my first job as an electrician, and then I'm going to work there for 2 years, and then I'm going to go try to work for a small business to see if I can become a project manager, and I'll do that for 2 years. Then I'll start studying for my master electrician license, and I'll take it. These are the steps that I want to see, because I want you to really think through how to do it. I don't even care if you Google it. I do not care if you go to Google Copilot and say, what are the steps to become a master electrician? This is not about a cheat sheet, like I told you before. This is about you understanding what it takes, because the more you write it down, the more you believe it, the more you're willing to do it. So if you don't really know what the steps are, go Google it. All right? It's important for you to see what it takes to become it. That way it makes it more real. The same way with you starting your own business. Google it. What are the steps to own my own electrical low voltage or high voltage small business in the state of Florida? Google it. Any questions on that? All right, my friends, good luck to you in your interviews. I know you guys will be doing them all throughout this week. Please pay attention to your notes that I sent you for your grades. Make sure you double check that. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.
Wait, I had one more question.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. No, no, go ahead.
This is for the participation question, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just talking about your